Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the It's Pizza Time podcast. I'm your host, Indigo. Today I'm joined by my co host, Victor,
It's good, guys.
my co host, John,
Hello.
and our special guest, AIDLIER. Sick. Alright, I guess. So, for people who don't know who you are or what you do, would you like to give a brief explanation to those things?
Of course. My name is AIDLIER. I am a artist manager. I manage John Casey, a producer from South Africa, and Blake Skowron, based in the U.S. And yeah, that's my main role, really, in music right now.
Alright, sick. So, I guess I'll jump right into the first question of this entire interview kind of thing. But what is your favorite kind of pizza?
Yeah. Um, it varies and it changes between just the kind of mood. But as of lately, I've been eating a lot of margarita pizzas, and I've just put some pepperoni on it.
Like,
Really, I just sometimes for the if I'm like that's when I'm feeling like spicy. But usually I'll just get cheese pizza, to be honest.
I mean, those are both pretty good classics. Like when you say like margarita with pepperoni, you mean like the sauce with like the mozzarella just circles, right?
Mm, This yeah, kind of. Margarita has like basil, it has like tomato, different kinds of cheeses. And it's pretty much just cheese pizza with like tomato and like basil, and it's really simple, really. But just a little bit more. It's just like a step above cheese pizza, I guess. It's really not too crazy.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, I mean, that's pretty good, I guess. Like, there's no one, really no problem with like having a like nothing, like not a crazy choice, I guess. There's nothing wrong with cheese, and I don't.
And
I like
John,
cheese.
he eats his pizzas with tuna on them, which is
Tuna.
which is I don't. He's literally the first person I've ever heard say that.
I have never
Yeah,
heard.
like the
I
other
was,
day we had a vid. He said anchovies.
yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
I've heard of anchovies before. I've never heard of tuna. That's an
Either.
interesting one.
I just think
Tuna
that
salmon, he
fish and
said. He
pizza
said
don't
salmon,
match.
fish and pizza. That's what exactly. He just has this thing about fish and pizza, and he's like, bro, trust me, it's really good. I'm like, I'm
No,
Maybe I'm
good.
just like not a fish person in general, but like I just can't see fish being on pizza.
exactly.
Me neither. Me neither. I love on pizza. I love Canadian bacon on pizza. Uh, like little meatballs. Those are
Oh
fire.
yeah, that's all
Especially
fire.
especially spicy ones. Yes, sir. Just depends on the day, honestly.
That's
Big
a
on like pineapple on pizza. I'm not too big on like sweet stuff on pizza, really.
yeah.
No barbecue, really.
Oh, I do like John's one of the guys who likes pineapple here. And
It's
I'm
like
one of
Pineapple's
nothing
pretty
wrong with
good.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
put it
I,
on there.
I'm not like anti. There's a lot of people that are super anti pineapple. I'm not super anti pineapple, but I'm just like, yeah, I'm just like
yeah. You
okay
just
with
don't
it.
feel it.
You just prefer something else, like over it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like if
that's
it's in
not
front of me
fine.
and it has pineapple, I'm eating it, but like it's not my first choice, you know?
Hey. Right.
All right. I guess let's jump into like some stuff about what you do, which is the whole management thing. How did that like entirely or how did you get involved into that scene and to begin with?
Um, to be honest with you, I had no intention on becoming a manager. Uh, I originally started in the beginning obsessed with electronic music as when I was younger, and I just wanted to create it, and I wanted to be involved in any way that I could, just because I saw uh, I saw what was going on around it, and then I went to like one of my. This was like before I was a teen. I really didn't go to a I didn't really never went to a concert. My first show was an electronic music show, and so I went, and then I saw how everything was, and I was just like, oh my god, I have to be in some way, shape, or form, like involved in this. And so that's kind of how it started. I just got inspired by from what I saw, and I just wanted to see how it worked and how everything just kind of just clicked together, especially coming from the producers aspect um, to the behind the scenes and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really based in Houston, from Houston, and I have a lot of friends in Houston that would go to electronic music shows. So I would just go, and then I would just go to the shows, and then I would try and see who I could talk to to get involved in, and at first playing the shows, like DJing the shows. And so I just started to reach out and then like talk to the promoters and like make friends and just kind of just try to get myself involved with what was going on because it was exciting to me. And so I first started to learn how to DJ, and then I started to slowly play in Houston, specifically this place called Stereo Live. I don't know if anybody who's listening knows that place, but if they
Yeah, I've
do,
heard of it.
shout out to them. So yeah, all my stuff is there, and then I just started to meet people, and then I started to meet a little bit more people, and then I met someone who was managing artists at the time in Houston. Um, I don't know if I want to say his name. I don't think he'll mind his name, but his name is Anthony, and he's an amazing person. And he was doing a lot of promotion in live, specifically for bass music, and he was just promoting shows, different festivals that was happening in the city, and then through me being, we just clicked, him and I, and then we decided just to make the story a little bit shorter than what it really is. We met, we vibed, and we kind of just started to like in this independent label. The label is called Wonder Records, and he was the manager, and I was the A&R. And it's still it. I'm not. I mean, it still exists, and it's not like completely like done, but it's pretty much done. You can still find all the releases on SoundCloud if you look them up. But through that label, when I was looking for people to like work with us, I found that way. I found him through SoundCloud. This is 2017, I want to say. Yeah, like 2017. And I found him through SoundCloud, and as well as a few other artists. But loved his stuff, and I loved his sound. That we just became friends, John and I. And time went by, and he was just doing his thing. He was just making music, working like crazy, and I was just, doing my own thing, and which was the A&R stuff, and all that stuff. So after a few years, early 2019, so last year, I was like, man, I wonder if he has a team, and I just kind of just shouted out to him after a while of just not speaking to him, and he was like, "No, man, I do everything alone, this and that," and I just saw that he was, he had something. He was very much, he had a drive to him, and something that I just didn't really see in a lot of other people that I was seeing in the music industry. And then I saw a lot of people here really like his stuff, and they like his music. And so I just kind of was just through passion. I just was just like, man, let me see if I can maybe like help you get shows here. Not really with the intention of becoming his manager. But it all kind of started with that, like with like me just wanting to see him shine here because I saw, how people were enjoying his stuff and just supporting him with having a team or anything really. So I started out to promoters, and mind you, there's managers that kind of come from like they come from like school or something. Like they know how to do a lot of stuff in like they're very much like business based, I guess, and stuff like that. But really, from what I've learned is that you don't really need all of that to become a manager for real. You just have to be passionate, you know, and have a vision, and also just like a team, and you know and communicate and kind of try to find what's best for them to shine more and work less on the back end of stuff. But yeah, so I started to reach out to promoters and started to do this whole thing, which I didn't know what I was doing. And then I just started to reach out to other managers and see if they can give me advice on like what I can do, because it was getting complicated on how I could get him here. He just he just didn't live here, and and so I found out, maybe through a booking agency that they help. And so I started to just like, go and look for booking agents and just hunt down basically who I felt like would really hear me out in who John was and his music. And so luckily I found Rogue Agency, which is a which is an agency that I right now it's not the same as how it used to be, but through them, it's how we kind of work together, the agency and I and John, to bring him here. And it was literally basically a whole year of just going and forth and lawyers this and lawyers that. It was a whole process, man. But we managed to get it done, and then the booking agent that was with Rogue at the time, he automatically switched to Addison House through this whole personal change that he was going to, and then John just switched over to Madison House for that reason. So at first he was with Rogue, and then we switched to Madison House, because of that whole transition. And so yeah, like with him, uh, and I and John, we that's how he managed to come here, and I just naturally became his manager, and because I was helping throughout the whole process, I was still helping him, with labels and like sending his music out to just different people, and trying to seek out opportunities for him so he can grow and just expand on what he was already doing. And through that and time that we were just trying to get him over here, he was already building momentum. So by the time that he came, there was people that knew who he was. Um, Mind you, we did have a few difficulties before we, like just visa in general is just they're just a huge headache for real. It's crazy, it really is. But we thought it was gonna come earlier than what he did from the he like came originally. He was supposed to come like months before, but thankfully it didn't work out because we weren't that ready. And it was kind of more so of a impulsive kind of move. So glad that it didn't go through, and it actually went through the time that it did. But yeah, so and with Blake, the story with him was when I was doing the whole A&R thing, I tried to reach out to Blake because it was like, I think yeah, it was around 2016, 2017, and he was just like, he was killing it, like really killing it around that time. And I remember reaching out, and he would not respond. I would email him, and I would like, just try to see if we can get a song with him, and he wouldn't respond. But fast forward years later, he ends up collaborating with John through a remix for Ray Volp. And I was like, oh man, that's awesome. Like, and so I just kind of I didn't know that they were working together. It was really a surprise. And I was like, oh shoot, I wonder how he's doing. And so I just reached out to him, and we just talked and spoke, just kind of got to know each other, and then we just kind of just slowly and naturally created that relationship of manager and artist through that connection of collaboration together. So yeah, that's pretty much where we're at now.
Damn, that was definitely some kind of story. That's definitely a really good like fuck. What
In
was
depth.
yeah, it's very
Yeah.
in depth explanation. Like most people are just like can like a lot of people will just be like, oh yeah, we just kind of met this one time and we just started becoming like whatever.
Yeah, and then now we're here. It's just like, all right, cool. But it's cool to see the process and like how you actually came about meeting him. And
I think every story is different, you know. But
Yeah.
I love when people really, detail about how how you did things and don't really like, because a lot of people they it is, but they just don't want to show anything for whatever reason, and I don't really understand that. And as well as producers, a lot of times producers don't want to show like how they do things because I feel like all their secrets are going to be shown. But really, that's no, I don't agree with that. I feel like people take things from inspiration because of how much people open up or how much people show them, and that's how, to me, that's how this world works in a way. Like you teach someone how to do something, or show someone how to do something, or inspire someone to do something, and then they take it and make it better, and that's how we evolve. I feel. I don't know.
No, definitely. Like I mean, yeah, John, you were gonna say something?
No, I was just gonna agree with him because like I'm pretty sure like the people who don't want to say their secrets are they I feel like they get inspired by like somebody else as well. Like at some point in their lives, they found somebody. So let's say there's like a producer, he might have been inspired by like Skrillex or somebody like that. So like either way, like yeah, there's it's like you're passing ideas to one another. I don't know how to say it well.
no, I absolutely agree because like even if you like go to a show and you have no idea about music production or anything, just being in the crowd and just kind of like seeing everything, you're like, damn, I actually want to possibly get involved like in this, like, or how did they do it? And then that kind of like sparks the curiosity, and then I bet a bunch of producers started out that way by going to some random show and then experiencing it for the first time, and then wanting to be a producer themselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely like John, like I mean, in your case, you managed to like John Casey is definitely like probably a really dope artist. Is like as for it's definitely like huge. Fucking, hold on, I'm trying to like English myself right now. John Casey is definitely like probably one of the rising artists of the electronic community right now. So like, um, yeah, it's like I mean, he just put out like a couple sample packs on like Splice and stuff like that, and his name is definitely starting to what? Yeah, his name is definitely starting to come up around and shit like that. I'm like, sorry, I'm like, I fucking, I had like an idea of what I was gonna say, and then I completely lost it.
You're good. Anyways,
It's
So-
raw. It's raw, baby. We raw in here. Fuck it.
Yeah,
For real.
that's really what the
Can I-
show lives on.
Am I? Can I cuss?
yeah, of course.
Yeah, go for it. We don't give a shit.
Go for it.
Sick.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just
Say,
gonna ask about in terms of like management and stuff. So like, of course, you never went to school for managing, right? You just kind of just came across it and then started doing it. How hard was it for you to initially start? Like, what was like the battles to like go through that? Of course, you were going to shows and stuff and talking to whoever you could, and like you told us that whole ass story. But
Yeah.
what was like
It was.
okay.
I hear you. I think it was. Say it was like extremely hard, but at the same time, I'm very persistent, just by nature. So one of the things that comes up is you have like prove yourself and like prove who you're working with. And definitely whenever you're working from the ground up, just have to like just consistent and fight through all of your doubts, I guess. A lot of people like think that this stuff is really difficult, but like really, it's a lot of times it could be just an email away, or just like a message away, or or something like that. You know, I think one of the things that helped me was just not being scared to reach out and not being scared to like ask. Not seem like you know everything. Like a lot of people will just
Absolutely.
when they're asked a question, they'll try and see if they can come up with something just so that they won't it won't look like they don't know what they're talking about. But there's power in not knowing and like admitting that and like asking questions and really like just kind of putting yourself out there and looking for help and like seeking for help and that was one of the things that helped me. Like I would just seek out and look and ask and try to make connections with people that were already doing what I wanted to do or at the position where their artists are at the where I want to see who I'm working with at stuff like that. And so just the hardest thing was just like trying to prove, you know, okay, well, he doesn't have, because at the time, like, I remember at the time he wasn't like too big on streaming, and that's one of the things that like, you know, promoters and a whole bunch of people, they really look at for them to even get a give you a chance to have a booking, you know, especially nowadays. But John is that he's a very friendly person and has already made a lot of friends in the producer community. So when, like, say, at least one semi big artist, you know, shout you out, that gives you a little bit of credit, and it just kind of naturally flows that way. So he had friends in the industry, like just in general, and some people would reach out and like him and Craze, they had a relationship together, and Craze is like has been really awesome with John, and those are the kind of things that help. So if I'm to people, I would just mention, you know, I would just mention like things like that, like, you know, he knows Craze, or like not in that way, but just like trying to I
Establish
get
connections in a way.
yes, exactly. So it was just like that. It was just being persistent and just like trying to put him out there because I really really believe in him, you know. And I think one thing that separates John and I think is something that is actually being highlighted now, especially now during like quarantine, is when he is playing actually live. You know, one thing is his production is amazing. He's just he's a gangsta for real. But when live shows, there's a different thing that goes on when it comes to um, human interaction, and he is really big on that. Just as a as a human, he's just naturally he has this thing about him that um, people connect with. And now during these live streams, I've been seeing like a lot of people like just enjoying just like seeing him on their TV, and that kind of just oh like there's something there, and I feel like that's something helping him out, and that has helped him out, and that has been helping uh, his name have a little bit more credit.
Yeah. I mean, he does have like a really strong presence on stage. At least when I saw him like back in January, it was really hard to like I cannot forget that like his sets at all, because he was like, you know, he's just like a ball of energy on stage at all times. Just
Yeah.
like yeah, and it's like, I mean, it's like I could probably bring up a lot of like artists that like I've been to their sets, but I don't really remember like anything about them because of the fact that like they just are really quiet and reserved or whatever on stage, and they just don't do
Yeah.
anything about it. So it's like
Yeah.
definitely it's really good like to have he's just kind of like I guess is like a born entertainer, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah, exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, there's nothing wrong with being shy on stage or whatever, as long as the music speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of just of acts that are like that, but that are just they bring a completely different element.
Oh, definitely.
But we're in dance music, so it's like that, to see that kind of energy, it's almost refreshing. And he comes from a different place, so like that's on top of that's refreshing, especially to us that are here. And I don't really know when he's gonna be. I talked to him about moving here, and he's just, I don't know. We don't know. So but there's a cool thing about him living there, because he gets to see and experience the United States in a that other people don't, and he's able to go back home, and he's able to still see his friends and all that kind of stuff. So I guess it's a good balance. It's a good way of just maintaining both worlds together.
Is there like because like you just said like because he doesn't live here, because he doesn't live here, is it like, is there a lot of difficulty, I guess, managing an artist that like is really far away from you, I guess?
First of all, let's see what time it is right now. 3 a.m. where he's at. So that's one of the things that we have to kind of get used to. But he usually is awake still. So he's awake really late. Sometimes he's awake whenever I'm like, it's like 12 or 1 my time. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? And I remember when he was here, and he was like, touring, there was a period where he had to stay with me for a bit, and he would just go to sleep at like 4 in the morning. And I was like, what? I don't know.
Bro, that's what I've been doing honestly recently.
I mean, with quarantine, most people have been.
Yeah, but even before quarantine, to be honest. So
Yeah, dude. I know homies like that. They're like that. I don't know. I go to sleep fairly early and wake up fairly early. I think I'm the most productive in the morning. So
for sure,
that's just me, though. But that's just me.
The thing
There's
is,
a lot of people that are not like that.
I feel like in the morning it's a lot quieter and there's a lot less people awake. There's like less distractions. Even if you like go outside, there's like less cars and like stuff going on, so you can like just really focus on what you need to really do. And I'd say that it's the same at night, but of course, I don't know, it's like in a totally different environment. I'm just awake because I'm doing stupid shit like playing games all night. But in terms of productivity, I've been trying to fix my sleep schedule and then get back on that grind for real.
But no, if you get your work done best at night, then
Yeah.
Bro, no work
whatever.
is getting done at night.
I
No
think I'm
work.
the opposite of that, because I get most of my work done at night. Like,
Too many distractions, bro. Like seriously.
no, because no one's awake at night. So for my summer class, I'll pretty much be up to like 3 and 4ish. But like the only time I'll be up at 4 is when I actually have like a lot of like math to do. But like that's only like a one-time thing. But like maybe 3ish, and that's it.
I
But
can't
morning-
focus on
No.
homework at night.
Yeah,
for real.
Victor just plays like Formula 1 racing games until like
Exactly.
Nah, dude.
Do
like,
you guys
night-
play FIFA?
FIFA?
Yeah,
No, unfortunately not.
I used
I think I
to.
used to.
Yeah.
that's literally the only game I'm pretty good at.
Have you been grinding a lot during quarantine?
I think your mic went off, but I couldn't tell.
Yeah, I think you cut out for a minute there.
Are good?
Yeah.
I think yeah, there you go.
Hold on. Is your noise suppression on for Discord? That could be it.
Let me see.
If you're
Oh
no-
no, 'cause that was the case for me. That's why.
Yeah,
it wasn't
the
enough,
noise
enough.
suppression, the thing like it says noise suppression powered by Crisp on Discord. Though that is the worst thing you could ever possibly have enabled because it does not work.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, you're good.
All right. Sick. All right. I guess. Well, I'm gonna leave that in.
For sure.
That's-
People gotta know that noise suppression fucks up your sound. At least on Discord.
Funny. This is the first time I've ever done this like this on Discord.
Hey man, it's like there's a. It's like it's usually a first for most people because it's like, hey, we started doing it through Discord because of like, I mean, everybody's like doing stuff during quarantine. It's like we wanted to initially do something that's like an in-person cast, but it'd be like, hard to do.
Of course, then it's a lot more difficult to get people from abroad, especially because you're in Houston, so it'd be difficult to get you out here, of course. And then, of course,
No,
quarantine.
Sorry,
Good.
I was from Houston, but I'm in Austin right now.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. So what have you been doing, I guess, throughout quarantine? I guess. I mean, is like quarantine even that like is it like even that impactful over in Texas right now? Because I know like Texas has been like, lifting a lot of restrictions and stuff like that.
Yeah, people are. Yeah, it's still definitely here. Like here in Austin, people are very much mindful, I guess, for the most part, from what I see. They like go a little bit north, or if you just go kind of like outside the city, you'll see people not wearing masks and just kind of living like as things were normal, I guess. But in the city, in here, everybody for the most part is just is doing the correct thing for as far as I can see. But yeah, like there was a opening recently, and then they just had to shut everything down because people were wilding out.
Mm.
In Houston, in Houston, it's a little bit worse. But God bless.
For at least here in Cali, they started opening up restaurants again, just like slowly, and then like hairdressers and stuff like that. But people just did not give a fuck, and like a lot of people were catching corona because of it. Just no masks at restaurants and stuff, and they had to reverse that. So it went back to being that, hey, you can't eat at the restaurant anymore. So, and especially you can kind of tell who's from LA and who's not by just like people who do wear masks. I feel like most people that do live in LA are wearing a mask, and the people that are like visiting or just
Well,
out.
I mean, it depends on where in LA. Like if you're
I
like
don't
in
know.
Hollywood and shit like that, they don't do anything up there.
I mean, again, it really just depends because I was out in West Hollywood, which is not the same thing as Hollywood, but it's fairly close. And like I saw most people wearing masks, but still.
How far do you guys live from Hollywood?
A couple miles at least. Like what? How far would you say, Victor? Maybe like 4 miles.
I mean, you're 5 miles from me, and I'm like at least 5 miles from Hollywood, so probably 10. For you, 10. For me, 5. The thing is that in LA time, that's like 2 hours.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
That's true.
Well,
though.
it really
Traffic
depends.
sucks, man.
Well, it depends on what you're doing. If you're on the bus, good luck, buddy. You're gonna be sitting on that bus for 2 hours. If you're gonna take the metro, maybe like an hour. Car, good luck.
Yeah.
Like car.
I remember trying to pick up.
Uh,
How's it down there now?
I mean, right now it's clear.
Not even now.
Yeah.
Even now, it's not as bad, but like, I mean, still, you'll still have cars. Because the thing is, in LA, I'd say that most people just don't know how to drive. They just kind of get their license and they're like, I'm on the road. Or like, they've been driving for long enough where they just don't care about the rules and shit anymore. Look, every single morning I'll walk my dog, and then there's this Chrysler that fucking guns it down my street, and they're just on their phone every single time. They're just staring at their phone, and they just gunning it down the street. So, and then there have been plenty of times where I'm just like sitting in the passenger seat with my friend. Literally just picked me up 5 minutes ago, and then people are swerving into us. So,
Yeah, how about that?
driving in LA is an experience
God.
for real.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I was there, it was, I mean, I didn't see anything too crazy. I did see a lot of traffic. I do remember that. I mean, but that was to be expected just because you hear that all the time. And, but I didn't see anything like too crazy, but maybe it's just because I wasn't, I wasn't there for that long. Have you
Yeah.
guys ever seen a burning palm tree?
I've not seen a burning
No.
palm tree, but we've definitely seen our share of like forest fires, I guess. Not necessarily forest fires, but like mountain fires and stuff.
How's that like?
Bro, when it happens, it's kind of wild. Like genuinely, like the sky turns like to ash, like it's orange. The air quality is terrible. Like it's already fucking bad because of all the smog. Like genuinely,
Yeah.
like recently I went out hiking and then we were kind of away from the city. I turned back and look at the city and there's just this cloud of smog above it. And this is recent. This
Crazy.
is maybe like a week
Pollution.
ago. The pollution is ridiculous because of course you don't think about it on the daily. But sometimes I'll open my phone and go to my weather app just to see how hot it is, and it just says unhealthy for sensitive people for like
Oh
the air
my
quality.
God. Oh
And
my
that shit's
God.
all the time too, and especially in like Santa Monica too, because like I go to school out there, and so like commuting there, I'll just check. Oh, I wonder what because the weather between where I am and Santa Monica, even though it's 5 miles, Santa Monica is like right next to the beach, so it's like always cooler. So I'll just check my app, and it's like, yeah, unhealthy for sensitive people. I'm like, holy shit, like this is terrible.
Bruh, that is crazy.
But the worst part is like when it is when those fires are happening and like the ash is in the air. I remember one time we got this was back in like high school where we went to school and then people were literally like the kids were protesting to go home because of how bad the air quality was, and if you wiped your hand across the desk on the insides of classrooms you wipe ash off your desk.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that is wild, man.
Yeah, we didn't go to high school like that far from the mountains or anything. So it was like it did was it just had to blow a little bit south and then it was just all over.
Exactly. And then you'd go outside and you can see the particles in the air. And I'm just like, great. I'm breathing the shit in.
Jesus, how about that? That's crazy.
I don't like we talked about this on an episode, like on a previous episode, but like LA should not exist. It's like it's probably like the worst spot to have a city. Like we
It's in the
with
middle of like a
fires.
desert.
In the middle of the desert, it's got fires, it's got earthquakes. It's like literally the
We-
worst possible
We
spot.
literally built on fault lines. Like, how stupid are we? Like, genuinely. Like, we put like 4 million people on a fault line and expect it to go well.
Wow, man. Did you guys had an earthquake recently, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good little shake.
It wasn't too bad. It was just like more of a shock. I mean, it was at like 4 in the morning, so I think that's why a lot of people were probably jump on Twitter and like, oh my god, earthquake. It wasn't as bad because we had one
How does
last
that
year.
how does that feel?
It's fucking strange because at least
It's
like
kind
I
of
was in bed.
unexpected.
Yeah, it was. I was in bed, of course, sleeping at 4 in the morning, and like I just looked over and I just saw my blinds kind of shaking. I was like, great.
Apparently, it was a lot more severe, like in like Burbank and shit like that, like up north.
Yeah, because that's where like the epicenter was, like somewhere down there.
But
And
yeah,
Go ahead.
it's weird because it's like I've lived in LA for like a really long time at this point, so it's like I don't really think about it. But I'm like, whenever I talk to like friends from who like don't live out here or stuff like that, that's like they cannot like comprehend what an earthquake would be like, because it's like that's such a strange concept to explain. It's like imagine like your entire house just starts shaking for a bit, and you're just like supposed to be like, oh yeah, that's normal.
I heard it feels like King Kong is just shaking the earth. Which is like I'm just like, yeah, that sounds crazy. sounds
Yeah,
crazy.
there was one last year where it like lasted for like maybe 10 seconds, 10 or 15 seconds. And normally they're kind of short, and then there's another one that comes afterwards, like an aftershock. It's like slightly lower. I remember being in my chair and like the house started shaking, and then my chair started moving because I have it on wheels. So I got out of my chair because I remember that in the kitchen I have like everything open because I just made food or something, and I had to go and like run and close the cupboard so all of the dishes wouldn't fall out.
Oh,
Yeah,
a movie.
for real, like genuine, and it lasted like 15 seconds too.
Do you guys get any like extreme like weather or stuff like that out in Austin?
Dude. No, nothing like that at all. It's just hot as hell. That's really all it is. It's just hot, hot. I mean, like, oh my God, it's just too hot.
I
But that's
feel.
pretty much all it is. Um, you'll get like a little bit of times like storms here and there, like pretty bad storms here and there, but like nothing crazy, nothing crazy or dramatic, to be honest.
Hmm. You know, I have like a
I live
friend
in
out.
Florida though.
Yeah.
Florida.
That
If you
I
live
live
in
in
Florida, you're like just asking for it genuinely.
Dude, dude, tell me about it. That's why I dipped.
Florida's crazy. I remember going down there just like as a kid for maybe like a week, and like it was actually insane.
like
I
Yeah.
remember.
Well,
Good.
you're good. Go ahead.
Like I just went there. I was maybe like 10 or something. We were like going to Disneyland and stuff, but uh, the outside, like I don't remember where we stayed at, but there was just a bunch of shit that happened. I think like at the like a gas station got robbed like as we were there. I'm just like this shit is crazy, and then of course like now like when you're like looking on like online I guess for news and stuff, you always see Florida man does some crazy shit,
Yeah,
like someone
it's
gets
the
bit by
beach
an
and the
alligator.
alcohol. Exactly, bro. It's literally people. All there really is to do in Florida is go to the beach and get drunk. Like that's it. You don't have really anything else to do, and
you can
it just becomes
you can go wrestle crocodiles or something.
that too, and it's a thing.
And like I've seen like people like opening up their toilets and like snakes are sitting in there. I'm just like this shit, no, I'm good.
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely alligators everywhere, pretty much, like around Florida, especially southern Florida. Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Okay. I guess let's try to bring it a little bit back to music. What do you think like fucking what do you think about like Florida starting to like just throw like normal shows again? Like what are your thoughts on that?
Like I said, they are. I mean, that's just it's not okay. I don't fuck with it at all. I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of hard to like be mad, I guess. It is you can be mad. You can be mad, I guess. But like it's a lot of people are just trying to recover from all this bullshit. But it's just not okay and shouldn't be forced, I guess.
Hmm.
I agree with that. Like I feel like everywhere else besides America kind of has it under control for the most part. And since we have so many people and like so many people that like actually disregard anything, and they're just like, we're Americans, we want freedom, I'll do whatever I want, you know, which is, I guess, whatever. But
It's weird.
come on, like we
Yeah.
could have had this shit over with if people just kind of like wore masks and shit for a bit. The thing is, I feel like it went worse when it became like more of a political thing. It's like wearing
100%.
masks is a statement, I guess, that like I don't know. It's stupid.
It's the conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, it's Facebook.
Yeah, it's like Twitter IRL. Just like yeah, like wearing mask, I can't breathe and shit. I think it's really
not
funny.
that
Like people
Come
are
on.
just
not
like
that
yeah.
big of a deal.
I wore a mask when I was like headbanging for like 3 hours straight or something. I was fine. Like, come on.
Yeah, you can. I don't understand like why people can't at least do that. It's like we're not asking you to wear a mask forever. We're asking you to wear a mask when you go like outside in public. That's it.
But listen, buddy, you're infringing on my rights. Okay, I have the freedom to do whatever I want. Okay.
Yeah, man. It's not that hard, dude. I saw some I know you guys have seen it as well, but just like crazy videos of people just. I think actually there's women in Orange County or like a group of people who were like really like really trying to take take a legal kind of way and that route in the sense of just like mask, or they don't want, like, just because they don't want to wear mask, and they're just like sorts of shit about my kid, about this and that, but it's not like
It's
it's
just so
not that deep.
stupid.
It's
Yeah.
just on for a little bit, and then you're good. It's not worth all the bullshit.
Hey, but at the end of the day, it's natural selection. It's like the people that
Yeah,
aren't doing it and like just don't care. Unfortunately, some people may have to catch coronavirus for them to be
exactly,
like
bro.
within their family to be like, okay, this shit is actually serious. And unfortunately, at that point, it's kind of too late. But like, come on.
It's because they're so used to we're so used to like being living without it that uh the thought of just like, okay, I've been living all my life without all of this. Why do I need to continue to do it? And it's like that has never really happened before. So like a lot of people just don't know how to take that.
To be
And
honest, for
I
me,
don't
which
know.
what's funny is that I actually kind of enjoy it right now because there's less people. Like, there's less people like screwing around and doing stupid shit outside, and like, I feel like it's just more quiet. It's more like personal in a way. Like you're just kind of like doing stuff like whatever you need to. Like,
Exactly. What in regards to shows, I do like the drive-in shows that they're
so
having.
here's the
I
thing.
have,
We
but
we
like,
had a friend come in. His name is Rezi, and he was about to do a drive-in show, and they just canceled it, unfortunately. The problem is that people still don't take it seriously. Like I remember a couple of weeks ago we were talking about the Chainsmokers on how they did a drive-in show.
are
Everybody
cooperating it.
just got out of their car and just acted like it was a
Yeah.
normal show. So
Oh my God.
no, like that, it's difficult to like get people to actually be on board. And like New York is where Rezi was supposed to do the show. Then they were like, yeah, we can't have people get out of their cars at all. And then they just decided, you know what, it's not worth it. So like they are definitely a cool idea, but people can't seem to actually do it.
Debate the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, like people that are doing the drive-in shows, they don't want to get hit with legal fees by if someone leaves their car and does something stupid. They don't want to endanger people, so you don't want to be that show
Absolutely.
promoter that puts on a show and then everybody gets coronavirus.
You do not want to be that person.
Okay, let's take it back to more music. Uh, have there been any struggles with like management in terms of just like maybe a show promoter being stupid and just like not allowing your person on stage and stuff? I don't know, just any issues you've ever encountered.
I mean, there was like
Uh,
there was the whole show that got shut down. Little Reaper one
I
again.
mean, yeah. Go ahead, go ahead. You can talk about that.
talking about that, the manager that I was referring to in the beginning, who I was working with in for Wonder Records, how I found John, is actually Reaper's manager.
Oh, oh, Anthony. Okay, now no, I know who you're talking about. He's in here. Is yeah, he's a really nice dude.
Yes.
Huh.
Oh hell yeah, dude! That's my boy. That's my boy. Shout out to him. Yeah, that show got canceled. To be honest with you, I haven't faced anything, nothing too crazy. For the most part, we try to just work with promoters that that have been doing this for a while. And yeah, nothing too crazy. I haven't had to like jump on anybody or anything like that. So yeah, but fingers crossed because I I would.
Yeah, like we were at a disciple show, and I think it was during Infect set. Some dude decided, I think he was just off whatever he was on, and he jumped over the rail and then jumped on stage and started dancing on stage. And one of the disciple guys ended up throwing him off stage, and then like
Yeah, Myro
security
just
grabbed him. Go
How
ahead,
about that?
Margaret. Go ahead.
I was about to say, like, yeah, it was Myro who pretty much owns the label, like founded the label. Just fucking comes in and just fucking like it's like he looks so upset, and he like throws the guy off the stage, and he's like probably would have like beaten his ass if he was there any longer. Yeah, it was so I was like, I wanted to cheer for him, but it's like I also didn't want to get the shit beat out of me. You know what I mean?
That and like the dude like knocked over their sign too, like probably caused like damage to some shit.
Yeah.
So it's like
I heard from a couple from like Vandals afterwards that sign was like brand new, so like it had almost been broken like day one
rest
of
in
it being
peace.
used.
About that, bro.
Yeah, and you never know these intentions of these people, and of course, like this dude was just probably high out of his mind and just jumped on stage because he was just stupid, right? But like that could seriously like turn into some shit. Like if he just attacks the artist and like you just genuinely don't know the intentions of these people, so
Very
it could-
true. And a lot
can
of times when
definitely
you're in that
become more
mindset,
serious. Go
when
ahead.
you're in that mindset, it's hard to experience myself, but I have seen those moments, and it just seems like they just really have no idea what's really going on for real, and that's the scary part.
Right. And you don't know what they're capable of too. Like they could just like throw hands. They could just swing at the artist and you're just like everybody at this like you can't do anything, you know?
Yeah. I mean, there's been cuz I grew up in the church, and there was moments that my parents would tell me about when they were younger, about people coming into the church and like actually like towards the pastor and like jumping on them out of nowhere, like literally like
Wait,
the
what?
yeah, on some crazy stuff, but not I've never seen anything like that anywhere else.
That
No,
that's
man, people will do, you just never know. So
yeah, people are super like unpredictable. It's like it's so weird. Like I've never that's like I've never heard of something like that. I've never heard of anybody attacking like a passer or something like that. It's strange.
They're definitely on something. But
yeah, it was definitely a weird, and it wasn't normal. It wasn't like a normal thing. It was just kind of like somebody that wasn't fully there. It was really strange.
right. And then in terms of like stuff like backstage ever happening, like people like to sneak into stuff and just like meet their artist, like their favorite artist, which is stupid. But we've had people on here like tell us some crazy stories of how stuff happened. Do you have anything like that or no?
Usually, people are respectful for the most part, and wait until everything is over. Um, but yeah, nothing crazy like that, honestly. Thankfully.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thankfully,
that's
which is
definitely
good.
a good thing. Like fucking I've heard a lot of like weird stories of people going backstage and shit, so it's like or like people trying to sneak back and it's like meet the artists. That's always like so good thing you haven't had to deal with that. You probably will have to at some point. But like yeah. But good thing you haven't had to yet. Um
Back, that does happen.
hmm. All right, I guess I'll ask then like for anybody who like wants to do like the whole managing thing, like what do you think is the probably the most important word of advice you could possibly give to them? Or like,
Be
yeah.
I think this is kind of like a word of advice that you can take this and apply this anywhere, but be consistent
Hmm.
and and just to push on the gas with no. So, because if you believe in something, this is the one thing, like with managers, it's a weird kind of balance. I can only speak for myself because it's the only person I can speak for, but I do know that there is managers that come in with the wrong intentions, and I think that if you do have the right intention and you do and if it's something that you actually want to do and you're committed to doing it, um, consistency is the most important part, and that means consistency all around, in the sense of like pushing and helping your artist, in the sense of yourself, because like you are representing them,
Yeah.
and that is where things get really serious. So it's like, okay, like you have emails, so you have to respond to them. You have to like respond to them in a timely manner, in a way that you know in a way is that people know that you are on top of whatever is going on. So be consistent with your work and how you're helping the artist, and then that, in return, the artist shows the same thing to you, because it's a relationship. It's almost like a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship. It's like marriage almost, to be honest with you. That's how it is. In my opinion, a real solid manager artist relationship is like marriage. It's 50-50, equal parts. You know, the artist is putting the work in, whatever they need to do creatively, and the manager is making sure that that process is smooth, and whatever they need, whatever help they need, you're there. And that to me is one of the things that I can say has helped me the most. Um, and yeah, it help, and hopefully it will continue to help.
Definitely. Um, I think on that note, we're reaching about the end of our time. Um, Surprisingly enough, it felt a lot shorter than that, but hey, we're here now. Um, so I guess in since like we're reaching like the end of our episode here, is there anything that you would like to, any last words you would like to give to anybody listening, regardless, like I don't like no matter what it could be.
I'd say just don't don't be an asshole. Be a good person, man. It's really not that hard to know what is good and bad,
Yeah,
right and wrong, and that because I feel the more people that are just good humans and are just you know there for people, I guess, even if they don't want to, just try to be open-minded to people and receptive, and I think that just goes a long way, and it'll help whoever you don't even know that might help or needed that day. So just be nice to people.
definitely. Wise words. Don't be an asshole. Uh,
Exactly.
yeah. All right. I guess would you like to go ahead and pretty much plug everything that you got?
Yeah. First, follow management page and company. It's on Instagram. It is at Good G Deed Management. And then on Twitter it's the same, at G Deed Management. And that's what I keep up with everything that's going on with the artist John Blake. We now have a creative director. His name is Christian. He goes by TinyGo. I don't know if you guys have heard his music before. He does make music. He's an amazing graphic designer and animation creator. So he's going to be helping us and in the future, and everybody else on the team in the future. So follow him as well as John, as well as Blake, and my personal. You don't have call me, but it's my name, AIDLIER, at AIDLIER. Luckily, I'm the only one with that name, so yeah. But
All
that's pretty
right.
much.
Yeah, that's sick. All right. So I mean, for anybody listening, all of that will be linked in the description wherever you're listening to this. Um, and I guess so. Please go check out all of their stuff. All of our stuff will also be down there. All of our personal stuff, as well as for the entire cast. Yeah. But thank you so much for coming through.
So, Blake is having a release on the in 6 days. He did a remix for Great Dane, and John is releasing with Sable Valley next Friday. So, yeah, look out for that. Really cool stuff coming out.
All right. Damn. Okay.